I recreated this scene from the Lego movie on my own, and you can do it too. After tons of research on the topic, I figured out with the power of Blender and MecaBricks, anyone can achieve the same look. To start, I watched a couple of very informative videos by Vox and Know the Robot about the making of the movie. And after doing my own research, there's some very crucial information we need to learn about the Lego movie. So let's begin. The Lego movie was a cornerstone to the new style of animation that has emerged in the last 10 years. It's the sole reason why movies stopped looking like this and started looking like this.
You want to see something cool?
But how did the Lego movie make movies like Into the Spider-Verse and The Wild Robot possible? Well, let me explain. In the late 2000s, Warner Bros. Had acquired the rights to make a Lego film, and the producer, Dan Lin, had a vision to create something that had never been done before. To start, he brought on Christopher and Lord Miller to direct the movie, who later went on to produce the Spider-Verse trilogy. But for now, the Lego movie would be their testing grounds. One of the most famous techniques popularized by the Lego movie was something called stepped animation. This involves using variable frame rates, where characters like Emmet move on 12 FPS and their background on 24 FPS. This creates this choppy effect. The idea behind this is to replicate the look of stop motion animation, which is what inspired the movie in the first place. Stop motion animations typically use a frame rate of 12 FPS, which means for every second that is played, there are 12 pictures that are taken and then played back over the course of a single second. A typical movie uses 24 frames per second, which means the camera is taking 24 pictures in a single second and then playing them back over the same time. By mimicking this choppy animation technique, the Lego movie had become significantly more authentic to its predecessors and made an animation breakthrough at the same time. It also popularized stylized smear frames, where instead of using motion blur, it changed the Lego characters into stretched out Lego pieces for just a frame or two. This effectively smears them across the screen, which was done to emphasize movement and stay more authentic to 2D animations, where they would often have to exaggerate movements as they didn't have modern day motion blur. Alright, now that we have some history of the movie and what makes it so special, it's time for the most important part of the video, the animation. To start, I needed to figure out how to get Lego models into Blender. In one of the breakdown videos that I watched, they explained how they had a custom software that Lego used to design sets, and then they used that to import models into Autodesk Maya, which is what they used to animate.
On our machines to pull in any Lego brick from the Lego library.
However, they also mentioned a free website they used for a proof of concept while they were pitching the movie. And I couldn't find the exact website, but I did find something a bit newer and better, MecaBricks. MecaBricks is a free-to-use Lego modeling website that allows users to upload, download, and make custom 3D Lego models. And luckily for us, they have a free add-on that allows you to import models directly into Blender. This process was extremely easy, and for the quality you get, it's definitely the best choice. They also have minifigures you can download, but we'll get to that later. Alright, so now I have my model in Blender, but as you'll notice, it's completely dark, so I need to match the lighting of the scene I'm trying to recreate. This scene has pretty easy to match lighting. All I needed was a sky texture node, a background node, and a sunlight. After a little bit of tweaking, I was almost able to perfectly match the lighting. Here's what that looks like. I also added a plain cube above the apartment as there was no roof at the time. Anyways, remember how I mentioned you could download minifigures off of MecaBricks? Well, it's time to find Emmet with his pajamas on. Okay, he's in Blender now, but if you try and move him, he's just gonna fall apart, so we need something called an animation rig. If you've ever tried to animate before, you know just how important a good rig is. You also know how difficult it is to make one on your own, so that's why we have this free add-on called the Epic FigRig by BlenderBricks. This add-on is extremely easy to use. It allows you just to select every part of your model and press done. That's all you have to do. You just click on it, go to pose mode, and there you have it, all of the options of the rig, and it works perfectly. Now that we have the model, a rig, and a lit up scene, all we need to do is animate. But what about his face? In the movie, his face is extremely expressive, so I needed an animation rig, but this time instead of his body, I needed one for his face. After searching the internet for a while, I found this add-on called MecaBricks, which unfortunately costs $25. While not necessary, it is well worth it, and it makes it a bit more authentic to the movie. However, I don't want to pressure anyone into buying anything that they don't have to. But this rig also has a built-in asset library for different poses, which allows you to quickly make animations that are extremely similar to the movies. Anyways, now I need to actually start animating this thing. Okay, now that I have my final animation done, there's two more steps. The first one is to bake my keyframes, which is how we get this stepped or choppy effect. In Blender, this is fairly simple to recreate. All you have to do is select all your keyframes, go to Pose, Animation, and then Bake. Set this right here to 2, and then press Done. Now you have to select all your keyframes again and press Constant. Okay, now we're all done with that. But wait, there's one last step, rendering. In this video, I'm using Cycles. Cycles is the much more realistic lighting engine and can copy the lighting from the Lego movie significantly more accurate, but it comes at the cost of taking forever to render a single frame. For me, it was about a minute a frame. And with just over 500 frames of animation, I'm using 64 gigs of RAM and a 4070, so I just let it go overnight and it was all fine. Regardless, after all of that rendering and all that animating, this is what the final result looks like.
Good morning, apartment. Good morning.
Thank you so much for watching. I linked all the resources and models I used in the description, so make sure to tag me or at me if you make anything after watching this, and I would love to see it all. Anyways, I'll see you all later.
Good morning, apartment.